Yes! And as we are fast approaching the end of the year, we thought it's time to wrap things up
with our top 5
and our worst 5 pieces of theatre 2017. It's so good.
We're also going to be letting you know our top picks for the year to come.
So stick around, you are not going to want to miss this.
For us, 2017 has been a vintage year of theatre, but along with the good, we've also got the bad.
And the ugly. But before we get on to that, we're going to start with the good. Now, this is what we think. If you think differently, if there's been theatre you've been excited about that we haven't mentioned, then leave your comments below. Let us know what you have loved about theatre in London and regionally around you this year.
And if you're there, hit subscribe as well. Why not? What have you got to lose? So let's start off with some good. These are in no particular order, but a piece that we adored this year, Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf?
Which we saw at the Harold Pinter Theatre, starring a fantastic cast, only 4 of them. Imelda Staunton, Conleth Hill, 2 other people, Poots.
Yes, Imogen Poots and Luke Treadaway. Gotta say, that cast, the way that they work together, the way they gel together, and the way they told that story, held up by a fantastic script, was a joy to behold.
I mean, we didn't know the story. I don't know if you knew it, but we know there's been a film with Burton, was it?
Yeah.
And Elizabeth
Taylor.
So big names back in the day, but something very new to us. Imelda Staunton, what a year. She's been a real legend for the last few years. She's gone step by step by step, big roles, and she did not disappoint. Conleth Hill as well, I thought was fantastic. Game of Thrones.
Yeah, tiny show, a single set, 4 actors. There's a lot that can go wrong with such an exposed piece, but when you have that calibre of delivery that those 4 people managed to bring across, it was an absolute thrill.
Yes, was it Edward Albee?
Yeah.
Writing is fantastic. Now, could she be up for an award?
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw at least 2 Olivier Award nominations for performances coming out of that production. Which 2? We'll wait and see.
Next up is a musical that is new in town. It's been around on Broadway for a couple of years and has been hotly anticipated, going into the Victoria Palace Theatre, none other than Hamilton.
I've got to say, no surprises here whatsoever. This was going to be in the list if it lived up to even 10% of the hype that surrounded it. And you know what? It delivered in bucket loads.
We were really lucky to catch a preview, and we're also going back in a few months' time, so that'll be good to see it again once it's properly embedded itself. However, it was fantastic. Yeah. I was worried that it wouldn't quite sit with a British audience, but the piece is so strong, constructed so well, in safe hands.
It's groundbreaking in a lot of ways. I mean, you take a story about an American founding father set in the 1800s and put a hip-hop soundtrack. It sounds like a recipe for disaster, but it works, it just lands, it resonates even today, it appeals to a young audience, which is so vital for theatre today in order for that art medium to survive. And the ensemble, I've got to say, drive that story like I have never seen a story being told before. I just thought it was fantastic.
Yes, the score, the kind of hip-hop style merged with musical theatre. It's just something very new, very fresh, something I think to take musical theatre into today.
Yeah, take it to the next level.
Next level.
Very exciting stuff. Next on the list is a bit of a cheeky slip-in, because actually it came in 2 parts, yet it's making 1 part in our top 5.
That is Angels in America, which was on at the National Theatre in the Littleton Space.
An absolute epic with a stellar cast.
Russell Tovey, Nathan Lane, Andrew Garfield, Denise Gough, to name but a few. Big names, big names.
Absolutely. Now, this was a bit of a gamble, really. When it landed in the 90s in America, it told a story of a largely ignored part of gay culture, and that's the AIDS crisis and how it affected that community. It was something that wasn't mainstream until that point, and Tony Kushner, who we had the joy of meeting, he signed our script, put it on stage in this absolute beautiful epic, and it raised his profile, but the profile of a really important topic at the time. Bringing it back now, was there a risk that it wouldn't have that same weight? we needn't have worried. It was fantastic.
It was brilliant, and what an epic it was. We said it's 2 parts, and each part has 3 acts, so I think it's over 6 hours long. What a feat for the actors to learn. Also, hopefully many of you got to see it because it was broadcast live via NT Live. I'm so relieved that they do that and that good solid theatre is able to be shared around. Now, I'm just saying, awards?
I think at least 1 or 2, and a definite nomination for Marianne Elliott, who was the director, who took this massive tome, the script is heavy is what it is, and made it an engaging roller coaster of excitement and heartbreak and feeling and emotion, and put it in front of an audience that were totally in rapture.
Next up, still at the National Theatre, and still in the Littleton space, kind of just recently opened, and that is Network, starring the legend that is Bryan Cranston.
Network, it's actually based on a 1970s movie, sort of satirical take on the world of fake news and importance and, journalism. It's a bit of an expose in that sense. Ivo van Hove was the director of it, who we adore. He always takes risks and always does things totally differently, and this was no exception.
Yes, he takes the rule book of directing and tears it up. He can strip things right back to their core elements. However, with this production, he's gone to the complete opposite extremes. It is so technically clever. It's got a whole news kind of studio with the editing suites on the side, live camera feed broadcasts
Lights
going on.
descending.
It's
Yes,
mind-blowing.
He's also got a fully functioning restaurant on stage.
On the stage.
With the actors, which makes up part of the set, and the actors interact with the diners. It's something that absolutely shouldn't work, but does. And as Legonate says, totally rewrites the rule book on what you should and shouldn't do in a theatrical space.
Yes, now this one is going to be running for a little while longer, so can you get tickets?
You can. I mean, officially it's sold out, but the National Theatre do something called Friday Rush. If you're on the website, the right time on a Friday, for just £20 you can secure tickets for some of the best seats in the house, but you've got to be quick. Head over to the National, grab yourself a ticket for Network. It's more than a play, it's an experience, and it's the experience that you guys should be having. So last up on our top 5 is another epic, really. It's just a pretty long play. It was also a play with almost more cast members than audience members. Certainly when it was at the Royal Court, has a massive cast, and that is
The Ferryman. Yes, we were lucky to catch this very early on at the Royal Court.
Yes.
Written by
Jez Butterworth, and also directed by Sam Mendes. You'll probably know Sam Mendes as a Hollywood film director, American Beauty.
Skyfall?
Yeah, a couple of Bonds under his belt. He also directed Charlie and the Chocolate Factory at the Theatre Royal Drury Lane, which was...
However, The Ferryman is fantastic. Like I said, a huge cast, such clever writing, based in Ireland, kind of a family trying to escape the IRA. I don't want to say too much about it because I don't want to spoil it, but I guess this is set up very early on. So yeah, that's kind of what it's about, and it follows a family across many generations. You've got young
babies.
They've got
He works with, I mean, they say never work with children or animals. He does both in that. And I'm talking babies, actual babies, and then live geese.
And there's live geese, there's animals in it, there's everything that shouldn't work, again, does work, and it is quite epic, it's quite vast.
Yeah.
It all happens in the course of a couple of days, I think.
Yes.
And it's just beautifully told storytelling, the characters are so subtle, and yeah, beautifully played.
Yeah, the great thing about Ferryman is it's all about the writing. It's edge of your seat stuff. There's a bubbling undercurrent of unease that transfers right into the minds and the hearts of the audience from the off. It's a thrill a minute.
Again, awards.
Yeah, I should think Sam Mendes Director Award for taking on such of a vast ensemble.
Yeah, writer maybe, I think best play perhaps as well.
I should definitely think a
some
win
parts
there.
as well.
Play.
Very small parts that are beautifully played. I
Yes.
wouldn't be surprised. So there's our top 5 of 2017, but it was such a good year we couldn't quite cram them all in, so we're gonna each have a wild card, and my first wild card is...
Your only wild card?
My only wild card, yeah. Only
I know you wanted more.
I wanted more. First one is Mary Stuart, which we call at the Almeida Theatre, and is coming back to the Duke of York's. I'm so pleased that it's coming back. A fantastic cast, Leah Williams and Juliet Stevenson. Now, there's Mary Stuart and Queen Elizabeth, and at the start, they flip a coin to decide who is going to play which part. They both know both parts. It's kind of echoes of Frankenstein they did at the National Theatre with Cumberbatch and the other chap, whoever he was.
Johnny Lee Miller.
Johnny Lee Miller.
With much less preparation. At least they knew they were going on that night. Can you imagine walking onto stage and not knowing what you were going to do? Not knowing what you're going to do.
It's just so fresh. Now, when we saw it at the Almeida, it's a very intimate venue. It was fantastic. Duke of York's, we're going back to see it again.
We are.
So it's going to be interesting to see it in a bigger venue, but the writing is so good and the leading actresses are fantastic. I have high hopes. It was a fantastic piece of theatre. My wild card.
Now, my wild card, something totally different, and that is An American in Paris, a musical. I went into the show with zero expectations. I'd never seen the film. I knew nothing about the Broadway production where it premiered. So, you know, the blank slate of a mind going into this. And it was one of the most enjoyable evenings I had ever had at a theatre. It was sublimely beautiful, the choreography was mesmerising, the story is simple but it's so effectively told. It didn't need a kind of really lavish production. I've got to say the small amounts of production that there are really well done and really, really beautiful. But it's not a 42nd Street, it's not a descending staircases and huge amounts of set. But what it is an absolutely stunning couple of hours where you would completely lose yourself in that time, the romance of Paris in the 1940s, and it was just lovely.
Yeah, it was really good. It was contemporary as well, I think. It was very modern in a way. I had no expectations either, and yet the production values were fantastic.
A very worthy wild card.
Well, there we go. That's our top 5. That's what we thought, and our wild cards. Please comment below if you agree or disagree.
But with the pleasure comes a bit of pain, and our worst 5 has got to kick off with Sex with Strangers.
Sounds good, right? Sex with Strangers? What a title. It catches you, it grabs you. Intriguing.
Absolutely.
Cast as well.
Yeah.
Hampstead Theatre.
Yeah.
A lovely little quirky venue just on the north of London. Now the cast, it had the guy from Divergent and The Legion. I can't remember his name. Comment below. The hot one. So he's up there. He's making film after film in that saga. So he's hot right now.
Yeah.
Cast of 2.
Yeah.
What can go wrong?
What can go wrong? Also Amelia Fox, who you would know from Silent Witness, a great British actress, you know, one of the Fox dynasty. But unfortunately, nothing could be done to save this sinking ship of a script. It had a promising title, a promising cast, and a promising venue. We've seen some great things at the Hampstead, but unfortunately, this one should not have seen the light of day.
You can catch all of our reviews, by the way, by just looking down in our description or seeing our back catalogue. It's definitely a review worth watching,
yes.
But not the show.
Funniest thing is, it's actually one of our top viewed play reviews, and I think that's on the title alone. I wonder what they thought we were getting up to.
Next up in our worst is Against at the Almeida Theatre. Now, the Almeida Theatre is a fantastic venue, but it's just been a bit hit and miss this year. Against is the piece, had Ben Whishaw in the cast. Ben Whishaw is a fantastic actor. We love him. We saw him in Bacchae the year before during their Greek season. He is an absolutely young British star. I think he's so underrated. People who know him know he's fantastic.
I agree. It's not only is he underrated, he's actually really versatile. I could see him taking on anything and being wonderful, but he got lumbered with this terrible, again, script. and also a rather lacking production.
Yeah, being wonderful. Even the amazing Ben Whishaw couldn't save this turkey. He did great, but the production was simple. I like simple, you go simple, so no qualms there. But it just didn't know what it was doing. Was it a religious play? Was it a political play? Why?
Yes.
Just why?
And I could see the word why written on the foreheads of every audience member as I turned around and looked at them.
Yeah, so many of these, so many heads against pillars, so many kind of yawning, so many of these going on.
Such a wasted opportunity. I'm glad we've seen it because I'm pretty confident this isn't coming back. We're taking a trip south of the river now, back to the National Theatre, who seem to be getting it so right in the Littleton space this year, by and large, but so very, very wrong in the Olivier Theatre. We speak about this in our podcast, so have a little look for that. And Common in the Olivier space at the National was pretty bad.
Yes, again, a lovely cast. The cast, I do feel sorry for the cast sometimes of these productions because they give their all. You can tell that they're extremely talented and they give them great performances. If only they were working with something that was engaging, that was something people were interested in. It was a very fast set, and quite often it was very stripped back. It just looked bare and empty, and me, myself personally, and a lot of people didn't seem to care.
No, it didn't need to be in that theatre, which really harmed it. The story wasn't strong enough to begin with, and then putting it in such a cavernous space really exposed its weaknesses. Anne-Marie Duff gave a lovely performance. I'm looking forward to seeing her in some upcoming shows, including Macbeth at the National with Rory Kinnear. She'll make a phenomenal Lady Macbeth, no doubt about it. But in this show, she was by a huge margin the best thing about it. But that being said, that wouldn't have taken much.
Yeah, again, fantastic actress. You could tell she was good and you were safe in her hands. It just wasn't a good script. And during previews, I understand that they cut it down by 20-30 minutes. They took it out. Still, it was very long, and still no one cared. Another worst this year, again at the National Theatre, is a piece called Ugly Lies the Bone, which started off in America and then it came over here. Not the same production, brand new production, but the piece of text. Now it did have a fantastic set. That is something
huge
that I do remember.
ideas.
Yeah, they set kind of like of a town that kind of canvassed up against the wall, and lovely projection going on, set sliding in from the side. Where did it go wrong?
Yeah, it's when a good idea is badly delivered is when this went wrong. It seemed to have all the makings of a fantastically engaging production with a technical team that we've seen do some amazing things, and also a playwright that we don't hate, yet we came away from this feeling very cold.
It was very slow. The idea, I guess, of using virtual reality as a way of dealing with traumatic stress and recovery, it's an interesting idea as a concept.
Factually accurate.
It's factually accurate. It was just dull. Theatre at its dullest. It didn't care about the relationships. The way it was being told wasn't engaging, wasn't engrossing. And for us, it's just a big waste of a fantastic space, which was the Littleton space.
And a fantastic opportunity.
And great cast again.
Yeah.
Again, good cast. Didn't deliver.
Such a shame.
Such a shame.
But last in our worst category, but by no means least, is Cat on a Hot Tin Roof.
Now you feel very passionately about this one. Why is this on our worst list?
It's on the worst list because Sienna Miller ruined it for everyone.
Okay, what did she do?
It's what she didn't do that was the problem, and that was act. She was poor. She dragged the whole tone of the piece down. I thought the piece was fantastic. I think the script on paper is a great idea and a great story. It was so edgy for the period in which it was written. But having Sienna Miller there is a stunt cast too far. She could not deliver the dramatic ambition that this piece gives to an actress. It needed somebody capable, not incapable.
Which is a real shame because it's Tennessee Williams, fantastic writing, and you could tell the text was good. A fantastic concept in terms of directorial overseeing, design. It was stripped back. The guy, I can't remember the guy's, who was the lead guy?
Jack O'Connell.
Jack O'Connell, he was naked for quite a lot of the first half, so you know, you got a bit of a pull, a bit of a shock value, nice simple set, lovely design. However,
It didn't work.
Sienna Miller, she had most of the first act was just monologue from her. I don't know if it's because usually she's used to giving on camera, and maybe if it was a camera performance it would be able to pick up every single nuance and every single accent that she was giving, but translated to a large full-sized West End auditorium at a London house, it just didn't carry. But even then I don't think it was the size of it that was the problem.
I think Sienna got told monologue, went and looked it up in a dictionary and accidentally read the description for monotonous, and then just pitched it at one level throughout the entire 2.5 hours, and it was so underdeveloped, it was the biggest issue.
But that's what we thought.
Now, that production is closed, but funnily enough, they are doing an NT live of it, but it's not live. It was recorded when the run was on, but hasn't been broadcast yet. It's going to be broadcast within the first few weeks of 2018, which means you can head along to see it and let us know whether you agree. I don't know whether she comes across brilliantly on camera. I know predominantly she's got more the movie credits than she has theatre credits, so maybe she's one for the screen and that's why it's going to work well, but seeing her there in the flesh, not good.
Yeah, please let us know, comment below about Cat on Hot Tin Roof and any of the other worst productions that we have talked about. What has been your worst productions that you have seen this year? Let us know, comment below.
So that's 2017. We're going to get that, we're going to wrap it up in a ball and we're going to toss it away and we're going to look to the future. 2018 and our top picks for upcoming shows. So first up, one that's sitting right towards the end of 2018. I think it's opening in August or September time, but it's already generating such a buzz, and that's basically been around one actress, but it's a brand new production directed by Marianne Elliott of the Sondheim musical Company.
Yes, now coming over from Broadway is the diction queen herself, Patti LuPone, who's just recently done War Paint on Broadway, and now she's coming over to be in Company. She's done it before.
Yeah, she has done it before on Broadway, but this is actually her first time back in the UK in a main show since Les Mis.
Now this production of Company has actually got something a little bit special with it. They're taking a bit of a different angle because they are doing a gender swap of the main character. Normally Bobby, male character, is now a female.
And what they've done is it's Bobby with an I, not Bobby with a Y, because Bobby with an I goes Bobby.
And the person playing, the female playing that lead role, is none other than
Rosalie Craig. Rosalie Craig is fantastic. She's married to Hadley Fraser. They are a leading family in West End theatre musicals.
Hadley Fraser, in case you don't know, is currently the lead in Young Frankenstein, that is in the West End.
Yes. Rosalie was last seen on stage in Threepenny Opera. She did at the National
Theatre
when she was heavily pregnant.
And before that, at the National, she's also done The Light Princess. She's also done City of Angels at the Donmar Warehouse. She has a fantastic voice and a very strong actress as well.
Yeah, she was in the original cast for London Road, and was award nominated, winning. Let us know below for that part. I'm looking forward to seeing the show immensely. I am a massive Patti LuPone fan, surprisingly, probably for all the wrong reasons. I just love her. I think she's got attitude. I think she's got sass. I think she's a drag queen's wet dream.
And with good Sondheim, with a good strong company, a good strong cast. Company. Then this is set to be a very strong production. Is it Marianne Elliott?
Yeah, Marianne Elliott.
Marianne Elliott directing?
Yes, she is directing, and you're not too late to get tickets for this one because they've gone on sale so far in advance. So if you're one of the another 100 people getting off of the train to see a West End show in the latter end of 2018, then why not make it Company?
Next up to look forward to in 2018 is a play by James Graham called Quiz. We love James Graham. He's got quite a lot of stuff that's been on in the West End recently. Ink is still running, Labour of Love has been on, This House was at the National and then transferred into West End and is going out on tour. He usually does political stuff, including The Vote. This particular piece opened in the Chichester Festival just this year, 2017, and is now transferring into the West End 2018 and is based on the cheating scandal that surrounded Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Yes, the famous coughing colonel, excuse me, something to say, who cheated his way to £1 million on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire and caused such an uproar scandal. James is so good at identifying political, legal, dramatic popular culture moments and drawing out the very, very best bits, dramatising them and whacking them on the stage, and he is... James, we love you.
Yes, educational, hilariously funny. He is at the top of his game in terms of writing. He's a very young, attractive, charming man.
Yeah, he is a lovely, lovely bloke, which makes it all the better.
Where do these people get this talent from? Where are they blessed?
Doesn't it make
so
you
much?
sick?
It makes you sick. Sick. But something to look out for. Next up to look forward to in 2018 is Lieutenant of Inishmore.
Lieutenant's probably one of the most debated words in the kind of English language. Is it lieutenant? Is it lieutenant? It's written one way, pronounced another. Are you American? Are you British? We're going to go lieutenant. It seems a very British thing to do. Now it tells the story of again in the Troubles in Northern Ireland. It seems to be a topic that has come up recently with the Ferryman as well, and it's a very gruesome piece of theatre which I cannot wait for.
Love a bit of gruesome, meaty,
Yeah, a bit of meat on the bones with this one. This play had a production at the Donmar Warehouse a few years ago, and it's kept the same director, but he's mounting a new production, Michael Grandage, and it stars Poldark's own Aidan Turner.
Oh, he's a bit of a heartthrob.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be some bums on seats for that show. Written by Martin McDonagh, and stay tuned for a little bit more about him because we're coming back to Martin very soon.
Next up is a piece that is coming over from Broadway, a piece called Fun Home, which is a musical, play with music. What would you say it is?
I'd say it was bloody brilliant is what I would say.
Okay.
It's not the same Broadway production, although they are keeping Sam Gold as director. Sam Gold directed over here recently at the National The Flick.
Yes.
Which was fantastic. Again, a really challenging piece, but he made it look like a piece of cake.
Seamless.
Yeah, absolutely. It's based on a graphic novel, this one, bear with, by Alison Bechdel, and tells the story of her coming out and her family and her closeted homosexual father who committed suicide. No spoiler, it's all out there pretty early on in the show. It's been set to music and the score is like nothing I've ever heard. I think it's a totally new sort of musical, and I am really looking forward to this after following it closely from its win on Broadway, Best Musical, a few years ago.
Yes, at the Tonys. Tonys.
And now it's landing at the Young Vic, which, as we know, is a very versatile space. They can do a lot with that. I am thrilled that this is coming this side of the Atlantic, and I hope it's as well received as it was on Broadway.
Last but not least is a very, very, very dark matter.
At the brand new Bridge Theatre, which we haven't had the luxury of going to just yet. It's a brand new opened, dedicated theatrical space out towards London Bridge. So I'm excited about that as actually the piece itself. But talking of the piece itself, it's another Martin McDonagh. And I love Martin. Martin did Hangmen, and as soon as I hear he's attached to anything, I'm like, take my money, take my money. He is phenomenal. He also has a great stellar cast lined up for this one, with Jim Broadbent in a featured role.
Jim Broadbent, which you may know from TV, he's got loads of experience. Moulin Rouge, he has a great part in as well. And what else has he done?
He's Bridget Jones's Diary.
Yes.
He was in Only Fools and Horses. He is a stalwart of British stage and screen, and I think to be in the room with him is going to be an absolute pleasure.
So this has the potential to be an extremely fantastic text, just judging by the writer and the cast. All the right ingredients. Is it going to deliver?
There it is!
That's our best!
And our worst.
And our to look forwards to.
Yes.
So please, as we keep saying, leave your comments below, share this, let us know what you're thinking, what you're up to in the world of theatre, what theatre is going on around you. We'd love to hear from you.
These are just our opinions. Please do share yours and keep your eyes peeled for our upcoming reviews in 2018 and beyond. We've been overwhelmed by the support that we've had since we started just a year ago, and I'm just going to give a special shout out to a few people who have supported us so much in this past 12 months.
Such as you, Martin Hanger Green.
Yes, also William Fairchild, you're always commenting and sending us messages on Twitter, and we love to hear from you.
Shane Cochran, who always tells us about the things that he's seen, things that we've seen that he's seen, his thoughts on them, whether he agrees or disagrees.
And Ian Ward, who especially likes our regional reviews that we do, especially in Birmingham, which is fairly close to us, so thank you. It's nice to know you're watching.
Yes, we do this for you to build up a bit of a community. We really do love theatre, what it brings, the experiences that it brings to people. Please keep on telling us what you think.
We're the Break-a-Leggers, and we'll catch you again soon. Bye!
See